Wow, this is so scary and so uncomfortable. Welcome to Jess Love Coach podcast. I'm Jessica, and I have not recorded a podcast episode in over a year, and it's time to go again on my podcast. And I've decided today to live stream this recording because it is absolutely terrifying and so uncomfortable, and it is exactly what I need to do in order to really step into who I want to be as a coach and who I am as a person, and just the fact that everything I feel called to right now is all about facing your fears and living authentically and just really being able to shine without any fear or any guilt or any shame. And so this is episode 17 of my podcast. And last time that I uploaded a podcast was last July. And at that time, I was still married to Cam. And now I'm not, I'm divorced. And I have a new partner. And I live in a new house. And I have since started 2 other businesses, in-person businesses, and one of them is already done. It's shut down. And so, wow, there's so much to share, but I'll break it up into sections. So relationships, love. Yeah, so most people who have been following me for a while or have listened to my previous episodes know that I was married to this amazing Australian named Cameron. And last year in November, we split up, and it is a really beautiful thing. So you don't have to feel sad about it. I don't feel sad about it. And now I can say as well that Cam does not feel sad about it. We had a super awesome, happy, lovely marriage, and we were best friends, and we did a lot of cool things together, like started my Instagram page. I started my coaching business just over 2 years ago, and 1 month into it, Cam came on as my social media manager, and with his super creative skills, helped me to create content that reached over 20 million people, which was super awesome. But yeah, over time, we just kind of grew apart, and so we broke up. And now we are officially divorced, and we're both happy with it, and we are still very, very close friends, which is super cool. And I'm really grateful because we had amazing communication in our relationship. We loved each other unconditionally. We still do love each other unconditionally. And the foundation of our relationship was all about just really radical acceptance of who each other was, of who we each were. And when we came to Thailand 18 months ago in March of last year, I started to go through quite an insane transformation. And over time, I just realized that in order for me to continue to grow and evolve as myself, that relationship format that we had, being married and being in a romantic relationship, was not aligned to the direction that I am going. And so, yeah, that happened. And then also 1 year ago, or actually in July, like pretty much right after I uploaded my last podcast episode, I kind of quit my coaching business. Well, I shouldn't say I quit. I took a break with my coaching business, which was necessary because honestly, after being a full-time content creator for a year, I got burnt out because it was really fun to make the content, but I also wasn't really, being a full-time content creator was not my goal or my dream or anything of the sort. When I started my coaching business, all that I cared about was just being an entrepreneur, having a business that allowed me to work when I wanted and allowed me to feel responsible for my finances and just for my life, and wanting to create a life that I wanted to live, which involves a lot of freedom and no hustling. And yeah, so I took a break from coaching and I stopped making content, and I kind of was just like really done with social media and everything like that. And I went into living a lot more offline than online. And I really needed that. And I spent my time here in Thailand connecting with my community, deepening my relationships, and really diving into myself, which was super cool and super transformative and very liberating. And one of the things when I came here to Thailand, one of the things that I said, or like kind of a vow that I made to myself, was that I really wanted to face any of the fears that I still had, because I've spent 7 years on this journey of self-discovery and self-love and overcoming my patterns of fear, guilt, and shame, and like all the things from my past. And one of the biggest fears that I was still stuck behind when I came here was this fear of disappointing others or making other people feel uncomfortable. And my behavior, like the behavior that I was doing in order to not hurt other people or disappoint other people, was not expressing myself and really keeping silent and just being afraid to speak super honestly, like radically honest. And so I started working on that. And I started working on that in my relationship with Cam, and just being more vulnerable and sharing more things that I was terrified to share because I thought it would hurt him. And, so it started there. And then I started being more radically honest with my friends, and just when I would feel really afraid or really uncomfortable to say something, in those moments, I'm like, okay, this is a time I absolutely have to say it, and I have to do it because I want to break through this fear. And then the final, like after many months of practicing in my daily life, in my online, or like in my real life, then I was like, okay, now I have to really push through this one and final fear, which is being radically authentic and honest online, because I have a coaching business, an online coaching business. And so I do need to be seen online to gain clients. That's just how it is. And that's the job the career and the business that I wanted to start. So I needed to become comfortable with sharing myself online. And after the time of being a full-time content creator and getting really wrapped up in the world of online coaching, I developed a lot of conditioning that reinforced my beliefs about myself, that I wasn't good enough in certain areas, or that I, didn't know what to say or how to say it. I was like, I'm terrible at making content. Like Cam was the master of that. Like he is really the creative force behind all the content on Instagram previously. And so when it was just me in my business, I was like, how am I going to do this? And then in January of this year, I decided to get back into coaching, but I still didn't want to make content. And so I started doing in-person coaching here on the island, just by like word of mouth, basically. And then in January, I also started another business called Euphoria. And I'm doing luxury villa alcohol-free parties here on Copenhagen. And it's been super fun. And I will maybe do another episode talking about Euphoria. But yeah, it's just another business that I started. And I decided to start it because I was like, well, one, I love to party. I love to dance. And I don't really drink alcohol. And I love building community and connecting with people. So Euphoria was kind of like this birthing of a creative idea I had, and just wanted to know, like, can I just start another business? And I didn't really know what I was doing about like being a party organizer or something like that, but I just gave it a try, and it went really successfully. And I learned a lot about myself, and I really was able to see that I can just create something if I want to. And every single time that I was doing a party, I was really checking in with myself, like, is this fun? Like, or is it stressful? Because I just don't want to do anything that feels stressful. It's fine to do things that feel scary because this is how we grow, but I don't want to do anything that feels stressful. And so, yeah, it's now September, so I've been doing those parties since January of this year. And I did a few parties last year as well, but it wasn't like under the brand of Euphoria. So I launched that business in January. Then in April, I was given the opportunity to have another business doing aesthetics, like doing facials and microneedling and skincare and stuff like that. And it was a really random opportunity because I've truthfully, never really been into skincare or doing anything like that. But I was offered the opportunity to start this business, and I thought, oh, why not? So then in May, I launched Aura and started doing aesthetic treatments. And it was actually really cool. I really loved doing the treatments because, I just got to spend like an hour pampering people and giving them beautiful touch, and also doing some like coaching in there as well. Not intentionally, but a lot of people opened up to me and were really vulnerable with me while they were laying in the treatment bed, and it was just like really lovely. And that, again, like within my first month, I did like 50 appointments within month one, and it was mind blowing. And again, the whole time I was just like, is this fun? Like, am I doing something that feels stressful, or is it fun? And just like really being very intentional about how I was showing up in business and how it was making me feel. And the coolest thing that I learned through Euphoria and Aura was that it is absolutely possible to run a business, and actually at that time have 3 businesses, although I wasn't coaching at the moment, but to have 3 businesses and still not be hustling. Like, I had 3 businesses, but I was still barely working. At least it felt that way because the work was super fun and really fulfilling. And I was just interacting with people, which is something that I love to do, and just having fun and remaining in joy and bliss. And so, yeah, there's that. Wow, it's just been so long since I've done a podcast, and there's so much to share. And I'm finding myself right now going into the thoughts of, okay, you're rambling, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, this is what this podcast is about. It's just an unedited flow of consciousness, basically, as if it was me and you just chilling on a couch, and we're already besties. So there's no fear of judgment. And I mean, there is fear of judgment right now because I am putting myself out there on the internet, but I'm just allowing that fear to be there, and I'm doing it anyways. And so, yes, like a month ago, my facial business ended, which is another story, but it ended. And I was like, hey, I need to get back into coaching. And coaching is really like my dharma. It's what I feel that I'm meant to do. And it is just what brings me the most amount of joy, the most amount of fulfillment. And I actually had a friend who I'm so grateful for, because her and I, we were sitting in the jacuzzi, we were chatting, and she just said, hey, why aren't you coaching anymore? And I realized that I had stopped promoting my coaching, or stopped like interacting with my coaching business, honestly, because I did not feel like I was a good coach. I was like kind of I was mainly doubting my speaking abilities, and just feeling like maybe I wasn't being precise enough, or maybe I wasn't delivering the message clear enough. And I basically just fell into a hole of self-criticism and self-doubt. And I was feeling like I'm not good at making content, and my audience doesn't want to like read my writing. They want video content, and I'm not good at that. And so, yeah, that's like another more of a subconscious reason why I stopped coaching for a little while, actually. But this friend, she was like, you need to get back into coaching. She's like, you give amazing advice, and you're so helpful, and you've really helped me. And she was just like, you're amazing, so don't doubt yourself. And so I started to really like face that discomfort and start to kind of dive into the fears that were underlying why I wasn't coaching and things like this. And so I was just like, yeah, I do need to get back into coaching because it is something that I just love to do. And there's nothing more that I love talking about than like love, relationships, inner work, self love, self discovery. And so I was like, all right, I'm doing it. And so then I just started posting more content, still written, because I feel like I'm just more of a writer than a visual person. But then I just like kept having quite a clear message from within myself being like, you have to put your face out there. Like you have to just interact with your people in the same way that you interact with your people in your everyday life. And so this is why I am here right now doing this, because I do have a strong desire to share what's on my heart, what's on my mind. I have a strong desire to share the tools and the practices and the insights that I have gained over the years of being on this journey of self-love and self-discovery and just really stepping into my authenticity and really just showing myself, and I feel like, yeah, I'm just excited to be here and be doing this right now because even though it's really scary, it's really exhilarating. And at the end of the day, I just want to connect with people. I just want to connect with people and I want to be there to support and witness the whole world grow more in love with themselves and each other and just kind of be part of a unified future. That's really what I believe in. I believe in a future of peace. I believe in a future of unity. And I believe in a future of love. And I feel like this is my mission, my purpose in life is just to share, spread, and be love. So that's why I'm here. So I was supposed to be talking about like a section of relationships, but then I flew into business. So now I'm giving you all the information about the business. I suppose I could kind of weave back into the relationship thing. So I'm currently with another person. His name is Tom. He's amazing. And he was my really good friend before I broke up with Cam. And then I got with Tom. And now we live together and we have a super joyful, happy life and a very great relationship. And I am taking everything that I learned from my relationship with Cam and everything that I've learned from all my relationships. And I'm being a better partner in this relationship, especially moving through and navigating this whole realm of facing my fears and being more vulnerable and expressing myself. And so, yeah, throughout this relationship that I've had so far for the last 10 months, I've been really putting into practice vulnerable expression. And anytime, like, unlike my previous relationships, every single time that I feel uncomfortable about something or every single time that I have fear arising, we sit down and I'm just like, blurt it all out. Just be like, this is what I'm feeling. This is what I'm going through. Like, oh, I'm having moments of self-doubt, or, oh, I'm having insecure thoughts, or like, oh, I'm, maybe judging my body or something. And then it's just like, I just share it and I feel so much better. And it's just really cool to see like the kind of like the progression of my relationships throughout my life, and how like the more connected I am to myself and the more I'm connected to my truth and the more courage that I have in sharing my truth, the deeper and stronger and better all of my relationships are. And not just my romantic relationship, but here where I live, I just have the most insanely awesome community. And my friendships that I have right now are just so deep and so nurturing and nourishing and fulfilling. And, I really make time throughout the week to have a lot of one-on-one time with my different friends, with my guy friends, my girlfriends. And, we just like, there's no like surface level shit that happens. Like we're always just diving into like super deep and vulnerable stuff. And I feel really held and really supported and really loved in my life right now, like abundantly loved. And that feels really good because I've had so many times in my past and many years actually, like growing up, where I didn't feel that scene. I didn't feel loved. I didn't feel supported. I felt very alone, in fact. And I kind of went on a mission around the world to find where home was and to find family and to find like my soul family. And it's really cool because now I have it. And I'm really grateful for that. And so, yeah, there's that. I'm trying to think of what else I can update you on because, I mean, there is a lot. But I don't really know if I need to go into anything else. And, I just realized in this exact moment, it doesn't matter how long this podcast episode is. And I am going to be doing a podcast episode once a week again, like I used to do. And I'm going to be streaming it here on YouTube because it's a desire that I have that is really terrifying, but I want to do it because I would love to, do YouTube, I guess. I don't really know why, but I think YouTube is cool, but I've always been really intimidated by it. And I'm just like, I don't know how to make videos. I'm not good at editing. Like just this idea of having to create these like clickbaity thumbnails and like it has to look good and it has to sound good and you have to be like constantly like improving the quality. Like these types of things I don't like. Which is why I've not been on YouTube, and except for like in the past when Cam, the creative genius, was creating all of this stuff with me, and we were working as a team. But it was like really just like, his creative genius and his ability to be able to see what looks good and how it sounds good, and to be able to create really cool thumbnails, that kind of stuff. But I just made a random thumbnail that took me like 5 minutes and I'm going to go with it. Like, I'm sure it could be better, but it's fine. And that's it. So this has been intense for me, like sweaty and gross, but I just want to do this and I just need to post it and not care about what it looks like or what it sounds like, because at the end of the day, this is me. And I want to be seen, I guess, because I think this is really powerful. It feels good to be seen. It's scary at first, but when we can really face that fear and allow ourselves to be seen and we can like open our hearts to the world, this is how we are able to receive the insane abundance of life, of love. And so this is why I'm here. And thanks for watching or listening. Maybe you're listening to this because I will be uploading the podcast to Spotify as well, and probably to some other platforms at some point. But I don't remember how I used to be on like Google or Apple, or like, I don't remember how I did all that stuff in the past. And since I'm just now getting back into business, for now, I'm just going to upload it to Spotify and upload it here to YouTube. And so I'm sure that I will learn as I go, as I always do, because this is just how I do life, is I just dive right in and then I learn as I go. And it's something that I actually really love about myself, that I'm not afraid to take risks, or maybe I am afraid at first, but I just do it anyways because I love adventure and I love risks. And I think for me, that's what it means to be like living fully, really experiencing life, is just to be afraid, but then do it anyways. And I'm always hungry for more growth and more evolution and more expansion, and just like any ways, any opportunities where I can open my heart more to love, more to life. I can open my mind more to love, more to life. That's what I'm going to do. So, signing off. I'll see you next week.